Make sure you are seated comfortably, your body relaxed. Close your eyes and focus your attention on your breath, feeling the gentle rise and fall of your lungs. Allow any tensions and worries to slip away with each out-breath, releasing all negativity. With each in-breath, draw in purifying, clean air. Slowly let all outside concerns fade away. The space around you begins to darken as your attention moves inwards. Everything fades away, leaving only a quiet, peaceful darkness. You rest a moment in the darkness, feeling yourself safe and secure. The darkness spreads out in all directions, vast and silent. You rest within the great void, Ginunga Gap, the emptiness before creation, before the beginning of time and the birth of space. Within this void all things will come into being. In the very distance on either side of you, you are aware of the realms of fire and ice, so far away you can barely perceive them. Through their union, force and form will come into being, and the worlds will be set in motion. It is in this place that you will meet Nauthiz. In the centre of the void you see a small light, a tiny spark of vitality. We will call the name of Nauthiz 3 times together to bring it into being. Nauthiz, Nauthiz, Nauthiz. Through the power of your voice, the spark of light transforms, glowing the burning orange of a hot coal and transforming into the shape of Nauthiz. The rune grows larger and larger, shining with power in the darkness, steadily moving towards you until it comes to a rest, waiting for you to enter. Slowly you pass through the rune and into the realm beyond. You are lying on the cold earth. It is dark. Beneath your thick mittens your hands are frozen. The chill of the ice-cold air has penetrated deep into your bones. You have slept for some hours, and your body is aching and tired. Your chest is tight and your breathing laboured. The pangs of hunger have subsided to a dull, gnawing ache. You can feel your heart thumping in your chest as it determinedly warms your blood, keeping your body going. Slowly you inch your body upright, willing the blood back into your frozen limbs, and crawl out from under the meagre shelter you found late last night. Not even a cave, just a hollow in the earth that kept you safe from the wind and the sleet. Outside it is still dark, but the stars are gone, and you sense that the dawn cannot be far away. You can make out the inky black shadows of the trees crowding in around you. Their wet bark is slowly freezing solid, blooming with a patina of frost now that the sleet has gone. All is silent in the pre-dawn gloom. Your provision bag is empty, and as the forest ices over once more, the brief thrill of life which the wet sleet brought fades away. It is days since you lost the forest path, and for the first time you consider the possibility that you will not find it again. Pushing this gloomy thought to the back of your mind, you stamp your feet and resume your progress through the forest. You feel faint from hunger, and every now and then your legs fail and you fall, but always you rise again, forcing your unwilling body to stand and keep going. As the first yellow rays of the sun break through the darkness, you give thanks that at least you got to see her one more time. Somehow her company lends you strength. You whisper her a greeting. It is the sun herself who lights up the tiny dwelling ahead of you. Without her help you would never have seen it. Its dark shape is almost lost under a cover of overgrowth. With renewed hope, you push through the brambles to the door, forcing it open with your weight. Inside, the air is musty. The sun trickles through a papered window. In the corner, a small pallet bed lies empty. The table is bare, but the departed owner has left some oddments behind, a tin cup, some plates, an assortment of pots and jars. With trembling fingers you open them one by one. Each is empty, until the last. A tinderbox. You pull off your mittens and with trembling fingers draw out the flint, fire steel, charcloth and tinder. By the hearth a collection of logs are neatly stacked beside a scuttle of coal. Your weakened body finds it difficult to muster the strength to strike the flint, but your will is strong and you continue to strike, crack, crack, upon the fire steel. You gasp with pleasure as at last golden sparks settle upon the charcloth and it begins to smoulder, glowing with intense orange light. Gently you nurse your fire into being. It dances for you in colours of gold, yellow and orange. It seems so fragile as you build it up, placing the lumps of coal delicately around it. For a brief while you forget your hunger as your fingers grow flushed and rosy, searing with pain as the cold leaves them. The fire grows stronger. It dances, drawing you into its centre. The glow of the fire and its blessed warmth lull you into a trance. Around you the dwelling changes. You see flowers at the window-sill, a woman and man embracing upon the pallet bed, lost in laughter and love. Now the window-sill bears a bowl of apples. The woman is sewing at the table, her dark hair sweeping across her face, her belly swollen with child. Every now and then she looks up. Long she waits, sitting quietly in her chair as night falls. She is still there in the morning. Her sewing rests upon her lap. You see her weeping, crying out in frustration. Autumn falls and still she waits, but her lover does not return. It is during the first snow that her labour begins. At first she lies upon the bed, her face to the wall, lost in her grief and despair. As the pain of her contractions intensifies, she screams and her lips form into a curse on her man, on herself, on the child. Even as her spirit fails, her body still works on. But you can tell that there is something wrong. It has been long hours now, and the woman is tiring. It is not clear how help comes, but it does. A midwife travelling upon the road. Perhaps she heard the woman's cries as she crossed through the forest. In she hurries, rushing to the woman, seeing without needing to be told how the story has unfolded. Quickly she stokes up the fire, whispering incantations over it. Runes she writes upon the body of the woman, holding her by the wrists, counselling her to be brave. Runes she whispers into the womb, calling to the spirit of the child, urging it to turn. On her own hands she marks the Nauthiz rune, black as coal, full of mighty power. Then she sets to work once more, whispering to the mother and unborn child, calling to their spirits and bodies to find strength. The final screams of the mother are so filled with pain that you wish you could stop your ears, but just as it seems she can bear no more, her cry is joined by another, the cry of her baby. As the midwife cuts the cord and places the child at her mother's breast, the mother's cries turn from pain to joy. Exhausted, mother and child lie together. Their trial is over, and the glorious light of hope fills the room as daylight breaks through the papered window. You hear the midwife speak of her own village, of a place there for the mother. Then she bids the mother sleep. You watch as the midwife sets a pot upon the fire and fills it with water. Slowly she begins to wash away the runes of power. For a brief moment she pauses, and just for an instant her eyes search out yours, and she looks at you, a knowing look sent from the past into the future where you sit now. With slow deliberation she lifts the logs from the pile and takes a small tin box from the table, placing bread, a bottle of mead, and a cured meat within it. She seals the box, and taking charcoal from the fire, she marks it with the Nauthiz rune before placing it amongst the logs and covering it over. Then the image is gone. and you are alone once more. Scarcely daring to believe it, you pull the topmost logs from the log pile. You lift the tin box from its hiding place. The rune is still traced upon it. Nauthiz. You breathe and open the box. The smell of the food greets your nostrils and your stomach cries out in relief as you swallow a small piece of bread and unstop the mead. Only now that you have food and warmth are you able to acknowledge the fact that the midwife saved not 2 but 3 lives when she came to the dwelling. With the fire roaring and food in your belly, you know that a rest on the pallet bed will restore you, and surely the path is near at hand. You rise to move to the bed, and as you do so, a golden orange Nauthiz rune forms in the air in front of you. You know that your time with the Nauthiz rune has now come to an end, and slowly you walk towards its flickering golden orange form. You pass through the Nauthiz rune, feeling its power caress you as you pass out of the realm of Nauthiz into darkness once more. Standing in the darkness, you give thanks to the rune for its lessons and energy. You watch as it fades away, leaving you in darkness, ready to return to your physical form. Slowly you let your attention return to your body, feeling the darkness around you start to fade. You let your awareness expand to the space around you as the darkness recedes. You feel yourself centered within your body, your attention focused on your physical presence, your breath and your heartbeat. The Nauthiz rune has gone, and you begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, bringing yourself back to your space. Take your time, and when you are ready, open your eyes.